Hello everyone, welcome to another Ironworks update on Dr. Bob's Chevelle.
Dr. Bob's number 7 Chevelle.
So where are we at with this one?
It's pretty much ready to go to paint. We got to pull the engine out, check it, make sure everything is welded at the bottom of the firewall behind the engine, get all that stuff done. But we've got all these front pieces all fitting. This is still the factory piece that came in on the car. This is the factory pieces. We've got all those fitted because they work nice. We've got all the doors transitioned, got all that stuff together for everything, filling the gaps, tidying it up, getting them parallel, getting all that stuff fitting
What's some
nice.
of the areas from before to where we're at sitting now? On the back, I think there was some areas, right?
Yeah, we did some stuff on the trunk. We did some stuff on the hood, hammered some edges, made these transitions from the fenders to the headlight extensions, kind of trued this up. There's always a spot here that gets dealt with. There you go. So you can see that that's nice now. There's usually a gap up here, so we have to weld on the edge of the door to get that right. We trued up the sides of the trunk lid, got that stuff fitting right. Got everything else in it. We welded up some of these seams that are on the car, getting some of that stuff together. Just waiting for the slot at the paint shop, and wanted to film this stuff today before it goes, show you guys the progress of what that's looking like.
So it is going, its next step is paint shop.
Next step is paint shop. Josh is over there working on all the wiring, and I can show you that on the wall. We're incorporating a few new parts in it. One thing we want to do is make the windows roll down just a little bit, like a new car. So when you shut the door, the windows are down.
Really?
And when it's closed, it goes up. And so that way the doors shut nicer and the seal works better.
So it doesn't get hung up, because a lot of times if you have your window all the way up,
It like pushes on the window and does some weird stuff.
And if you roll it down just a tad and roll it back up, then
it works nice. And so we should be able to get rid of that. We're putting in a few other headlight things, just things, a few little advances that we're doing. He wants a perimeter, or not, I guess it's not a perimeter, a front and back camera. So we're going to mount those on the drivers, near the license plate, so that when you pull up, you can see the parking curb. You can also see the parking curb in the back if you're trying to back in.
Really?
And so we're trying to hide those a little bit. Just getting stuff like that going. Everything else is, the dash bar is over on the wall, because we take the physical dash bar out and we take it and put it over here if you want to see this. So here's Josh over here doing his magic on everything. There's a lot of wires that go into this. You know, you got your some of your different controls, your factory ECU, your Dakota Digital boxes. Here's a coach panel. There's a lot of stuff that sits in here. Distribution blocks, just a lot of that stuff that comes in here and gets routed and terminated. And these go up to the firewall and get pinned out on the mil-spec connectors. We're expecting some more. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that goes in here, but this is the factory bracket that we mount on here so that he can build the harness.
And I saw on the firewall, which we'll open up the engine compartment and we'll look in there and show that off, but you have those mil-spec hole. So then the front engine compartment harness can be separated to the main harness?
Yeah, and we can shorten up wires so you don't have like a bunch of extra and long, and it just makes it nice and tidy. Yeah. So it's a lot of extra work. It really is. On the cars that we're doing, it really is dumb to do that, because you could just hide the wire and run it through the floor and hide it, but we just like to do stuff very detail orientated. Just kind of sets things apart, where the harness isn't just as it came and long and crude, and we, you know, eventually all the exposed stuff will be wrapped. You can see all this nice wrapping that goes over this stuff that's all heat shrinked on the ends. It's not just that ugly plastic loom with a stupid sticker and all that stuff. So all these things get done nicer that are on the engine side.
I mean, in reality though, this pays off, because if there's ever something that you need to trace and track down, it's not just a big old, you know, bunched up wire loop.
Yeah, no, it's not just all one piece where you're just married to the whole thing. You could actually pull the harness out and see if there's an issue with a wire, see if there's those types of things, and we just do it for a clean install. It just minimizes things so you don't have wires going up in between the firewall and the transmission, and a lot of guys will hide it through there and then make a sharp turn, and then wires divert here and wires divert there, and it's just not really nice.
I mean, in reality, I think there's a lot of people out there watching this video that is well versed on how messy it gets underneath the dashboard.
It can be bad.
Yeah.
It can be bad.
Well, let's go check out the engine compartment.
So we've got everything in here. Looks like there's another bung to weld on here. We were out of stock on our radiator brackets, so we kind of robbed it from here to go into one of the other cars for now while those are on order. You can see the intercooler tank that's over here. This car has to run on one air cleaner for the mass airflow sensor to be in here.
What harness is it, or what?
This is all GM because it's a 10-speed.
Okay.
It's a GM harness with a 10-speed. We're actually, as a side note, going to try some stuff here with the 8 HPs and see about doing a combination of an LS motor with the 8 HPs.
Really?
And see what the drivability is on that.
And what's the goals with that setup?
The goal with that setup is a little bit of simplicity. We've gotten the cars quiet enough inside that you actually hear the direct injection. And so as far as an LT4 and a 10-speed in like a touring application, it's really great. I mean, they drive really well, as you saw when you drove Goldie.
Yeah.
But there's a part where the 8 HP is all electronic. So there's just a lot more stuff you can do with them. They're lighter because you can run a smaller transmission for the horsepower level. Just a lot of things like that. The controlling system is different. Just the GM harnesses are getting so expensive, and the 10-speed is super expensive. But if you're in a performance thing, you might want it to shift quicker. You know, you can make an 8 HP do the manual, like sequential style shifter and a paddle shifter, because you're just flipping switches to get it to shift. And
so you have a lot more opportunity to go different directions,
yes.
Which when you're building something like this, you want to have those options.
So, and that's why we're just going to try it in a test mule here pretty soon. So we're actually doing 2 cars with 2 different types of 8 HPs to see what we think of those.
Okay.
So other than that, I mean, everything else is looking pretty good on this one. Getting ready to start do a large quantity of machine dashes for different clients. We've sold some of them online. If you want one, you better get in on it. Everything else is ready to go. He's picked out his powder coat for the wheels. We just need to finalize wheel measurements with it on the ground. And we'll do that here pretty soon before it leaves for paint.
And this one is the first one that's getting a different style wheel on it compared to the other.
Yeah, this will have a modern Forgeline multi-spoke wheel, not like a whatever 11 or 12 spoke kind of wheel. Kind of just your quintessential modernized pro touring wheel. Okay. So it's got all the trim on it. It'll have polished tubes. It'll have things like that. And Dr. Bob's just going through some details. He goes back and forth on the steering wheels, whether he wants to run these or run one of our new carbon units. We have those on our website. So he's just been kind of playing with those ideas. Just excited to cruise this thing around Beverly Hills here at the end of the year.
Yeah, and this one is again going with red with black stripes.
Just like it was when it came in.
It's going to drive a lot better.
Yes.
Insanely better than what he had before. Because it was just a big block, I think 396 with an automatic in it.
Something like that. It's out there in our pile of old chassis out back.
Yeah, and those are cool to just cruise around up and down the boulevard, but to get on the highway,
you're not going to go far.
No, not at all.
Not with comfort. So.
Okay, and shock package on this one?
Shock package on this one is the standard Roadstershop Pro Touring setup on these.
Okay.
And so we'll be running that setup on this car. Other than that, everything else is kind of set up with all the trim, and everything's been test fit for it to go to the paint shop next week.
Do we have kind of a understanding of like how long it's going to be gone?
90 days. So from when they start on the car till the end. And yeah, we should be able to be seeing this one by the end of the year.
90 days, that's pretty awesome. You're not into that whole paint jail thing, huh?
No, we are not into paint jail. Not trying to get around that and make sure we can get these things knocked out.
You got ETAs.
I mean, nice paint jobs are great, and you want a car that's painted nice, but we don't need a car that takes 12 months to paint, because more than likely if it takes 12 months to paint, somebody's not running a legitimate business, or it's nicer than you want to actually drive.
Yeah.
So we want these things to be nice enough where everybody's impressed, but not so nice that you'll never drive it.
Yeah. And since we got the hood down, I know before we had shown it with that other scoop. This one's not getting that extra scoop. It's just getting the
just getting the one scoop back here to help let the air out. So we have a production run of 25 of those scoops on the way now. So we're just going to run the one here to help exhaust the hot air from out underneath the hood. And then the other one that we had mocked up would go here, but we're not running it on this car.
And that is a billet unit that's being machined, and then how's it going to be finished on this car?
We may run the black, paint it red, and then run the stripes through it.
Really?
Just so it still carries the stripes through that piece.
Well, I can't wait to see how that turns out. That's going to be good.
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
help kind of fit with everything else.
Anything else on this car?
I mean, that's really it. I mean, it's got all the fog lights mocked up. It's got the headlights all in. He wound up upgrading it from the Holley lights to the JW speaker lights. I'm pretty sure we're running hood pins. I need to quantify that before it leaves, but everything else is set to go.
This one's moved along really fast.
It has, considering that it's, I don't know, was it 4 months ago it came in here as a running, driving, rusty thing?
Yeah, no, it's definitely come along really fast paced. So I'm excited to see it back painted.
It is.
Okay. Well,
So-
if anyone needs to get a hold of you,
Just look us up on our on our website, and you can email us directly from there.
fill out the form.
Fill out the form, answer some simple questions, and we'll get right back to you.
Okay, Roger, thank you very much for taking the time to go over this car.
Thank you. Have a good day.